Hello, Taurus, and welcome to this, your final reading of 2023. Before we dive all the way into your reading, I do owe each and every one of you an apology for the last video that I posted. For some reason, the last 8 or 10 minutes of the video cut out. It disappeared altogether, not just from the platforms that they were uploaded to. It disappeared off my computer. It disappeared off my thumb drive. So I am sincerely apologetic to each and every one of you. Okay, for those of you who are new here, thank you so much for trusting and clicking on this video. For those of you who are returning, thank you so much for continuing to support my channel. Before I dive into your reading, I do have a really quick announcement to make. This is my favorite time of the year. The reason is that once a year and once a year only, I offer a special annual reading. It is a 13-card reading. I do offer it at a special price. It's available from December 15th until January 15th, and it gives you an overview of the upcoming year. So if you are interested in having a personalized reading with me one-on-one live so that you are able to ask questions if you want, and we can fully interact, it is a 1 hour long reading. It is $90 Canadian, regardless of where you live. So, for some of you who live in some of those countries whose currency is stronger than the Canadian dollar, this is a fantastic deal. I will be pulling 13 cards for you, one for each month of 2024, as well as an anchor card in order to be able to tie the energies in for the entire reading. I will leave a link in the description if you are interested in booking this. Like I said, it is only offered once a year. It will be live by the time you see this video. So yeah, there you go. Okay, let's dive into your reading here, Taurus. When I last did a reading for you, which was for the time frame December 1st through December 15th, you had finally made a decision. There had been months, not just weeks, but months where you had a decision weighing on you throughout 2023, and you had finally made that decision moving into December, which is fantastic, right? But unfortunately, the cards indicated that you were still kind of bumping up against both your own doubt as well as bumping up against doubters coming up and being critical of your decision, which was causing a little bit of what might be perceived as a little bit of imposter syndrome. Maybe I'm not good enough. Oh no, I made the worst mistake in my life. But Taurus, if you followed your heart into that decision, if that decision was made from a true and honest place, and everything in your being is saying, it's about following your intuition at this time, following your body, rather than following what everybody else is doing and saying. So let's dive in. Let's have a look at the cards. Let's see what's coming up for you, and we'll get going on this. So I'm using my little itty bitty deck. There's a brand new to me deck for your first cards. See what jumps out. Okay. All right. So we have the Four of Cups coming out for you. And the Four of Cups is exactly what I was just talking about. The Four of Cups is a card of questioning your decisions, especially if the decision is close to your heart and to your emotions, okay? And going back and forth a little bit and even doubting your decisions. You'll notice here that the character on the card is sitting at the table, and he's resting his head in his hands as if to say, oh, what have I done? Now, providing that this character has made the decision from the heart and from the emotion, he really has little to worry about. And yet it is human nature for us to question if the choice that we made was the right one for us. So Taurus, definitely, I encourage you, because this decision was so long in the making for you, because there was, like I said, there was literally months on end that the cards kept coming up. Taurus has a decision to make. Taurus has a decision to make. Taurus, it was crazy. I couldn't believe that they just kept coming up. And so given that you finally made that decision earlier this month, or late November, early December. It's not unusual for you to have these moments of doubts and questioning, especially because the cards also indicated last month that, or earlier this month, that, you know, there was a little bit of this back and forth happening, particularly with people going, what did Taurus just do? But let's see what the cards say you're going to be moving into, because that's what's really, really important. And that's why we do psychic readings and tarot readings. We're going to move into what you are focusing on. What are the Taurans focusing on as we move into the final part of 2023? Okay, let's go through the deck one more time. There we go. Okay. All right. That one flipped upright, and it looks like you have another decision to make. It looks like you're still sitting on the fence about something. You do have the Two of Swords here, and you also have the Celebration card, which is the Three of Cups. So, yeah, it looks like, and you also have the Queen of Pentacles. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so the first card that came up for you is the Schizophrenia card. The Schizophrenia card corresponds to the Two of Swords, and this is about needing to make a decision, needing to make the decision from a mental place, from the place of mind. And it is a question of making that decision to go all in. No halfways here. The reason I say that is if you look closely at this card, there is a character sitting up at the top. And I think for those of you who have been with my channel for a while, you've seen this before, because this card has definitely come up in your readings before, Taurus. You have a character up at the top who is holding on to these two cliffs with his fingernails and his toenails. So if he lets go with his toes, he's going to be left hanging on by his fingertips. And if he lets go with his fingers, he's going to be left upside down, holding on with his toes. So the only solution is to let go and make a choice, make a decision. That's what this card is all about. Now, the next thing that you're focusing on is the Celebration card, and I absolutely love this card. This card corresponds to the Three of Cups from the traditional tarot. The Three of Cups is almost always represented by three women dancing, oftentimes dancing in the rain and celebrating. This is a cause for celebration, because once you finally make yet another decision, and I really intuitively, psychically, what's coming up for me, sorry, the sun just came out from behind a cloud, so now I'm completely washed out with the lighting. I apologize. I do not edit my videos. What you see is what you get. All right, so I do feel, Taurus, like this decision is not a new decision. This is the same decision that you had to make very recently. This is a reinforcement of this. This is less about you making the decision and more about you reinforcing this decision to those around you who were disbelieving that you had actually done what you had done. So whether your decision was to separate from someone, to move halfway across the country, to quit your job, to go back to school and find a new career, whatever the decision was for you, Taurus, it was huge. It was really, really big. And the thing is that it's left people stunned. It's like it's like you've slapped them, and there's a saying that for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And so if you slap someone across the face, their immediate reaction is to come back at you, right? And then they'll look the other way again. And I think that's kind of like intuitively, psychically, that's what I'm getting for you, Taurus, is that you are in this back and forth where you're good and solid and you know what you want and you've made that decision and that choice, but you've left other people going, wow, I didn't see that coming. You knew it was coming, but they didn't see it was coming. And so this card of needing to make a decision is more about you reinforcing your decision to others rather than you having to make a new decision. This card is about you in fully embracing that new decision, the new way of life, celebrating. I also want to point out that if you are experiencing what may be perceived as a challenge or a difficulty as a result of your decision, this card is also about cycles. It is always depicted with three women on it. It doesn't matter whether we go into the Rider-Waite or whether we go into the fairy tarot, whether I go into the Everyday Witch. It doesn't matter which deck we use. It's always depicted as three women. What do women have? Oh yeah, they have a monthly cycle. And oftentimes if women live on their own out in nature, their cycle actually coincides with the cycle of the moon. I also want to point out that women also have cycles or phases of their life. They go through the maiden, the goddess, and the crone phase of their life. So this card, Taurus, is about phases and cycles, and it's reminding you that whatever you are experiencing right now is a phase or a cycle, and the more you celebrate where you are now, the easier it's going to be to handle this phase or cycle. And the final card in your what you are focusing on is the flowering card. Now, this card corresponds to the Queen of Pentacles. She is the richest queen in the deck. She is the queen who basically like just comes out of this beautiful flower, this lotus flower, and she spreads her beauty, she spreads her wealth, she spreads her abundance, and that is what you are moving into. And also, I want to point out that as you have made this decision, as you go through these times where people are going to doubt you, and you're just like, and you have this word coming in, you have this resolve, undeterred resolve. You've made up your mind, and there's no stopping you. You are moving into the place of being this Queen of Pentacles as well. You are flowering. You are like a big, beautiful, open flower now that you've made this choice. Let's move into what is challenging you. This one, no, I'm getting called over here. All right. All right. Challenging and difficult influences for Taurus as they move through the final portion of 2023. Ooh, yes. This card makes absolute perfect sense. You receive the Five of Swords. Five of Swords, walk away from that which no longer serves your highest good. And I'm hoping that this card will come into focus here without too much reflection on it. They are reflective cards. But you'll notice here that this character has a couple of swords, and these characters have their back turned. This one also is on the verge of turning his back. They are walking away from each other. Okay. And this is what you are bumping up against, Taurus, as you are moving through the final phase of 2023, the final couple of weeks of 2023. There's a double-edged nature to the decision or choice that you've just made, right? And it's not that you made the decision out of malice. It's not that you made a misinformed decision. It's not that you made a decision because you intended to hurt anyone. You made the decision because it was the right decision for you, Taurus. And now, because there are other people doubting your decision, you are in that place of, I'm struggling against like really making this clean break and walking away. Remember what I said with this? It's all in. Clean break. Done. We're finished. I'm moving on. I'm moving halfway across the country. I've already accepted the new job. You know, this is about a clean break decision. And this is about your still going, oh, but it's so hard. I've hurt someone's feelings. Okay, but if it was the right choice for you and you contemplated on this and you did not come from a place of malice, then you don't need to bump up against that. Let's take a look at messages that the universe wants you to hear at this time. Okay, so the first card that popped up for your messages that the universe wants you to hear at this time, there are two of them here. Thoughts create your reality. Thoughts create your reality, right? So if you're caught up in this place of concerning yourself with how other people are feeling about your decision, rather than you just being in this resolve, this permanent state of, I made the right decision for me, you're going to have this waffling effect. So remember that your thoughts create your reality. If you are absolutely positive and self-assured in your decision, then you're going to be able to move forward more quickly. And the other one you have here is calm is not a weakness. With all of this decision making that you've had to do, with people coming out of the woodwork and doubting your decision and questioning you, there is this heightened state of, I don't want to use the word stress or anxiety, Taurus, but there's this heightened sense of awareness. It's like you're, there's a word coming, hang on. It's like you're peaked all the time. Where did that word come from? Okay. Angels, I'm Canadian, and yet I think one of my guides must be from the British Isles somewhere, because I get these weird words coming in sometimes. But you have been in this peaked state for so long that you seem to think that if you take a deep breath and calm down, something else is going to go wrong in the world. And that's just not the way it is. So Taurus, step into a state of calm with this message that the universe wanted you to hear. And yeah, I'm really getting a sense as well that you're going to be called towards meditation, going within, tapping in deeply to your intuitive side is going to be really important in the coming days for you. What else is coming in? Taurus. There's also going to be a sense of needing to get things done coming in. Wanting to like accomplish things so that you can close the door on that aspect. Okay, in your unexpected, you have the Seven of Cups coming in. Now, the Seven of Cups is about creating your own reality, creating your reality from a place of imagination. But the Seven of Cups also comes with a caveat. And that caveat is when you are creating and manifesting from the place of your thoughts, it's amazing to me that you got the message, thoughts create your reality here, at the same time that you got the Seven of Cups, because that's the message of the Seven of Cups as well. But the Seven of Cups also comes with the caveat that when you are creating your new reality with your thoughts, make sure that you're not ending up in fantasy land. So one of the other zodiac signs, and I'm trying to remember which zodiac sign it was, had this message at the beginning of December as well. And now you've got it coming in here, Taurus. And what that message is that when we work with the law of attraction, when we are creating a new life for ourselves, it's very, very difficult for us to jump from 8 or 10 cents in the bank to 8 million or 80 million or 800 million in the bank. Okay. There's a progression that needs to happen. Now, if your goal is to manifest 8 million, $80 million, whatever the case may be, if your intention is to manifest that, that's great. But if your mind is saying that you're going to manifest that and achieve that within the next 2 weeks, that's not realistic, and that is fantasy. Okay. There is a progression that needs to happen. And we know that when that progression doesn't take place, oftentimes disaster ensues. So if you have ever watched any of there are YouTube videos, TV programs and stuff about lottery winners who win millions, even hundreds of millions of dollars, and within a year or two, they are destitute. And it's because their energetic field, body, everything was not ready to receive that energy of that much money. Money is energy, right? And so they didn't know how to handle it. And so it's gone. So what this card is saying, Taurus, is that yes, your thoughts create your reality. And by all means, go into that meditative state and begin that visualization of what you want to achieve. By all means, this card is saying do that. But be careful of the trap of reaching like an Elon Musk financial level from your current level. And your current level may be that you are actually in a very good financial place. You may be in the upper echelons and wanting to actually achieve more. And there's nothing wrong with that. But start from where you are at. I really like that this card came out for you in your unexpected for the final half of December, because it does indicate that progression and that change or that shift into embracing your new life and opportunities following this decision that you've made. And it reinforces that, you contemplating this decision for a very long time and then finally making it, it reinforces for you that truth that our thoughts create our reality. All right, in your final general overall outcome, you have the Prince of Summer and the King of Spring. Yes. Both of these cards are extremely positive. The Prince of Summer is about falling in love suddenly, being swept off your feet. Now, for those of you who are already in a relationship, this may indicate a change or a shift in your relationship where your partner has all of a sudden become far more romantic for you. Or, maybe if you are currently in a relationship, this might be maybe a proposal or a progression into the next phase of your relationship. For those of you who are single and seeking, this may indicate that your prince is about to ride in on his wild horse and sweep you off your feet. So yeah, a really, really positive card. Now, again, just like with this 7, there is one slight caveat to this card, and that is make sure that you stay grounded. Although it feels wonderful to be swept off our feet, particularly in a romantic way, stay grounded in reality as well. Don't go into fantasy land. And finally, you have the King of Spring, also known as the King of Wands. I love this. I don't normally just read the cards. I go deeper, but I don't know if the camera's picking this up. A financial windfall. This card is indicating that good things and financial abundance is what's coming to you, and it's what you've been working towards manifesting. And this king is saying that it's coming to you. But this king is also the king of fire, the king of wands. Okay. And that indicates that there is still work for you to be doing with regards to being able to fully bring in this manifestation. All right, Taurus. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for supporting my channel through 2023. If this resonated for you, please hit that like button and subscribe. And also, just a reminder, as I began, so shall I end. If you're interested in that 13 card reading and your personalized overview of 2024, check the link in the description below. Thank you so much, Taurus. I hope to see you again at the end of December for your first reading of 2024.